everybody, it's Christina of CraftyPaws. I wanted to come on and share a Father's Day card that I made. This is a DT project for Diemond dies. I got to play with this new release. This is the skeleton leaf die. I love it. I got to play with it with some vellum, and I also used the smallest of the nesting tag dies, as well as the second largest of the Labels 2 top note die. And this is one of the cards that I made, and I am going to show you the entire process of making this card. So they're slightly different, but as you can see, the highlight of both cards is this beautiful skeleton leaf die. If you want to buy this awesome skeleton leaf die or either of these nesting die sets, please check out Diemond Dies and consider using the coupon code Thanks Christina with a K, and you'll get 10% off your entire purchase, and all orders of $35 or more get free worldwide shipping. So without further ado, here's the tutorial. I wanted to go for a kind of natural feeling card, so I started with one of those Recollections corrugated card bases, and I've thinned out some white acrylic paint. I'm using a little shot glass there. I had some water in it. I think about 1 part water, 2 parts paint, and I'm just brushing it on to both the back and the front of the corrugated card base. I'm using my heat tool to dry it a little bit, and then I'm just taking a little tissue to rub off some of the paint to expose the base of the card a little more. I had tissue fluff on the card, so I took that off, but you can see there that it really helps with the distressed look even more. Then I took a little piece of burlap fabric, and I'm just fraying the edges there, taking 2 or 3 of the strands off of each of the 4 sides of the burlap piece. And I'm going to lay that down with some hot glue. And the weave is pretty tight, so I'm not too worried about the hot glue burning my fingers, but I also have kind of Teflon fingers, so if you're sensitive, you should use, like a silicone spatula or something like that, so you don't burn yourself with the hot glue. This is the beautiful skeleton leaf die, and I'm showing there that I have the base magnetic plate, then a metal plate, that's my shim, and then the base plate, the vellum, and then the die, and then the top plate. And you can see it cuts out really smoothly, really easy to pop out all those pieces. And I'm showing it to you again, just so you see that it's really easy to cut out these vellum leaves. Now the third time, I'm removing that metal plate shim and just using the 2 regular plates, the base plate, the vellum, the die, and then the top plate. And I'm running that through because I don't want all those little details of the skeleton piece coming out. I just wanted the whole leaf so that I could layer it. So I'm using just Aleene's original tacky glue here and gluing that skeleton leaf on top of the base leaf, so you can see how that looks. And now I'm using hot glue just down the middle because I wanted it to be secure, but I also wanted it to have some dimension, so it's coming off of the burlap a little bit too. And on the 2 side ones, I just used the skeleton, not the base. And I like working in odd numbers like this. I think it gives a nice balance for the eye. And here I'm tying just some netting. I thought adding another white element that had some softness would be nice and really add a little bit of a resort feel to this rustic card. And here you see me just trimming off some of the frayed edges of that burlap. I wanted it off the edges of the card, but not too much. And here I'm using some crocheted lace that I had received from Marla H here on YouTube. Thank you, Marla. And I'm just gluing that down. I could have tied the bow directly on there, but I decided it was getting a little too bulky. So I'm using my CraftyPaws bow tire here and making the bow separate. It's so easy to use. I love this tool. I made a double loop bow and I'm just fluffing it out here. And I'm going to hot glue that on right over the same place where I knotted that mesh trim. And then just to make some little fish tails, I'm trimming off the bottom of the tails of the bow. Now I use the CC Designs My Guy stamp set. I use the Happy Father's Day stamp, and there's the smallest of the nesting tag dies from Diemond Dies. I use distress ink to stamp out the sentiment and to ink around the edges. And I'm going to hot glue that underneath. In this version of the card, I used some of the frayed burlap strands that I had pulled off and made a little triple loop bow there, and I put the little tag underneath. Now this is actually for the other version of this card. This is the inside sentiment, and I just printed the sentiment Happy Father's Day from my computer and in brown font, and I'm just inking the edges of this paper with the Tim Holtz Distress Ink in Antique Photo. Using my ATG gun there just to add the adhesive to the back of that Top Notes Labels 2 die from Diemond Dies. And that is the completed card. Now here are both versions of the card. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to check out Diemond Dies for these awesome dies.